What is going on, guys? I'm Tubby Emu. We're talking about Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. Now, there was different plans for what was going to happen after WrestleMania. The original plans, from what I've seen on the so-called dirt sheets or the rumors, this is speculation, take it as you will, that it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan versus Del Rio. There was talks about Sheamus getting stripped of the title to put it on Del Rio, and then Del Rio versus Daniel Bryan in a 2 out of 3 falls match at Extreme Rules. But they ended up going with Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan 2 out of 3 falls. Now, I'm not exactly sure why, Daniel Bryan is getting shafted. I know WWE wanted to break a record, and I know it's a huge heartbreak to Daniel Bryan, who, has given his life to wrestling and everything, only to get disappointed. I mean, you're champion for 4 months. You win inside a steel cage, an elimination chamber. You do a lot to retain your title, only to lose in 18 seconds at WrestleMania. And, I'm glad that they're giving him a rematch. I thought they were going to blow it over and, not give him one. With the other thing, though, is that WWE wants to push Del Rio. The word is in the rumor mill that Del Rio is going to get a huge push. That the plan is to make Del Rio champion at some point, get him up there, possibly to have him feud with Wade Barrett when Wade Barrett wins the title at Money in the Bank if he returns in time. Because the original plan was to have him win Money in the Bank. And it almost makes me wonder, I like Del Rio. I think Del Rio was an okay champion. I do think CM Punk is a better WWE champion, in my opinion. I think this also sets up the potential, though, to have the title swap. Somebody brought this up on my video, and this is kind of an interesting topic where, say if it comes down to Del Rio winning or Mark Henry winning and Mark Henry pulling the title from CM Punk, you could almost have the title switch and have the World Heavyweight Championship come to Raw and the WWE Championship come to SmackDown. Now, it has done it in the past. I think it was John Cena or Triple H brought it over. So I think it would be something to, give it a little bit more, pizzazz or something that's a little bit more unique. Because the things have been going pretty much the same, where they make SmackDown the B show. They have the Raw Super Show, and they bring all the talent over, but then, SmackDown gets left out of the, the feuds, and they put more effort into the A show, basically, on Raw. And with what's happening with, Daniel Bryan getting the rematch, I hope that the WWE at least makes the match good. And I know it's 2 out of 3 falls, so there won't be, it can be a 36-second match, 2 bro kicks in a row. But I also hope they don't come out in the first fall, he gets bro kicked. I think that would be a huge disappointment. And there's also talks of this match. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's not a tables match. There's also talks of it becoming a triple threat with Alberto Del Rio, which is always a possibility. And I'm not against that necessarily. I think a triple threat 2 out of 3 falls would actually be a cool idea. I would like to see that kind of match. I'm not a big fan of Alberto Del Rio coming back out of nowhere and getting a huge push. It's like Brock and The Rock, where they come back out of nowhere, and then they're basically in the main event. They're there at the 10 o'clock spot. And I guess I don't really have a problem with that because it helps with ratings a little bit, and the WWE has been struggling. But it seems almost unfair to Daniel Bryan, whether you like him or not. The guy's been here, he was champion for 4 months, put his heart and soul to it. I mean, Sheamus does the same thing. And then to have Del Rio just come back from injury because the WWE loves him and wants to push him, it almost seems pretty unfair that they would do that, to these guys. Even Sheamus, I think, and you guys will criticize me, being the first Irish-born champion, I think Sheamus will eventually be a Hall of Famer. Some people may disagree with that, but he's already a 2-time WWE champion, a World Heavyweight champion. I do think he'll go on to be in the Hall of Fame one day, probably for being, the first Irish-born, because the WWE does try to spice up their Hall of Fame a little bit. And it's interesting to me, because Sheamus, a couple months ago when he was that bully, he was that bad guy, people didn't really care for him. And now Sheamus gets literally some of the biggest pops of the night. And That's amazing, because I know when I went, Sheamus had gotten a huge pop. At Bragging Rights he didn't, and then the next time I went to Elimination Chamber and Raw. Sheamus got huge pops, and I think that goes to show that it would be very difficult to put Sheamus against Alberto Del Rio, because I think from a WWE standpoint they would give it to Del Rio, because they like Del Rio for some reason, even though he's not. As champion, they lost viewers. The ratings were down, and there was people complaining about it. But this video went all over. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus at Extreme Rules, guys. Let me know what you think of the match. Do you think Alberto Del Rio should be included, or the WWE should just keep him off? Leave a like.